How's it going, everyone? So in today's video we're going to be showing you guys how to install a pet door. I bought one from Amazon, PetSafe. It's plastic, so I'm doing this in my garage door. This is where she sleeps at night. So first things first, just measure your pet's shoulder height. Yeah, I will say about 19 inches. That's where she's at. Okay, so right before we take the door off, we gotta mark your pet's shoulder height, which mine was 19 inches. So it'll be 19 from the floor, right? So create a mark, use a level, draw across it, make sure you got a straight line, and then we're gonna do center of my door, which mine measures 31 and a half. So 31 and a half is 15 and 3/4. So same thing, 15 and 3/4 center mark. And then just to double check, make sure it's 15 and 3/4 both ways. Sometimes your math could be wrong. So it's a good way of double checking. Just measure from out in. And then create using your level again, create a vertical line. And this is right before you take the door off. Right? And you could also do this in place if you don't want to take the door off. But I figure it's easier to do it on a flat surface. So once that is done, let's go ahead and take the pins out and remove that door. So like I said, using a flathead little screwdriver or a pin or a punch pin, then you could take those off. I find this easier, but if you don't have one, a flathead should be good. And right before we put this ones back in, we're gonna grease them up so we don't have squeaking. So then go ahead and do the same for the top. And then the bottom one, last one, you gotta kind of wiggle the door up and down, and it's off. So now, just door is off, okay? So keep that in mind. So then you swing it this way. There you go, door's out of the way. And there she is, waiting for that door to be finished. All right, so now with the door off, if you have sawhorses, that's good. If you don't, kind of do what I did here. I had extra 4x4 pieces sitting around, so I'm using that just to keep it off the floor. And when I cut with the jigsaw, then the blade, I'm able to go all the way through without the blade hitting the ground. So that's a good way of doing this if you don't got sawhorses. So now let's go ahead and get the template out that comes with the instructions, and then we're gonna tape it around our cross, and then let's go from there. So go ahead and tape that on. Okay, so we got the cross piece right there, as you can see. And then I bought the large door, so we're gonna go ahead and trim out the template that comes with it. So just trim around the large piece, and then we're gonna tape it on the door. So give me a minute, let me cut it. Okay, so now we ran into something here. So on the instructions it says we gotta be at least 3 inches from the floor, meaning like the frame, the cutout, you still gotta have at least 3 inches of meat to keep the integrity of the door. So with that being said, instead of going 19, I'm gonna raise it up. Whatever, I think I need 2 more inches. I'm gonna go to 21, and I think my pet's height should be good, but we'll see. So we're gonna raise that to 3 inches. So this is what I'm talking about at the bottom. So I only have from the bottom of the door, I have 1 inch really, so just gotta raise it up. So from this line up, so instead of going 19, I'm gonna go 21. So I'm just gonna add 2 more inches to this line. So since we're not level on the ground now, so we're gonna measure 2 inches across so it stays level with the current line. So I'm burning inches here, so 2 inches there, 2 inches here. So we're gonna go ahead and mark that. So we're not looking at the level now because we're flat on the ground. So I know this line is level, so we're just gonna go up. So that's our new line now, and this one doesn't count. Just because I didn't realize that I was gonna have less than 3 inches on the bottom. So we're gonna go ahead and extend our line. So that means my dog is gonna have to jump a little bit to get in and out, which is fine. So we're gonna extend that line, our vertical line, right? Does that make sense? So that's something I didn't catch in the beginning. So now with the new line, I gotta make this line longer. So just take the vertical line all the way down, almost towards the bottom. So this is how it's gonna look. So now you're gonna grab some pieces of tape and tape your template on the door so it doesn't move. And just to double check, we got 3 inches on the bottom. So that's just recommendation on the instructions, so you keep the integrity of the door. So now let's go ahead and tape it. So now with the template taped up, you're gonna go ahead and draw around it. Okay, so once that's done, remove the template, and we're gonna finish the line off where the tape was on. So okay, so like I said, just put it on the edge. You can redo your line if you want. So now we're gonna go ahead and drill out 4 holes, one on each corner with using a 3/8 drill bit, or if you have a 3/8 spade bit, I think it also works a little better than a regular drill bit. So I got the 2 options. I'm using this. So this is it. Once we go through this door, there's no going back. Either you put the cover on or you buy a new door. All right, so we got the 4 corners drilled out. So there's the opening. So now let's go ahead and whatever little pieces we got to cut out a little more, go ahead and do that. Just to double check, we're even on both sides. So the door should measure 19 by by 11. Let's see what the temp is at. So from top to bottom, 19. Okay, 19 underneath a little bit, and then let me burn an inch. So we're looking at the large piece will be 11 and 3/8 because I'm burning an inch. So you gotta remember that. So just double check 11 and 3/8. So same thing, I'll burn an inch. So we're right here, 11 and 3/8 heavy. And then, like I said, by 19. So we're gonna flip the door around and make sure that we got the same measurements. If not, like I said, you might need to trim out with the jigsaw to even out the cuts. Because I did see that my jigsaw blade kind of bit differently on this one and this one. So we're just gonna have to flip it over and clean up the cut. Should be 19 and 3/8. 19 underneath. Should be, yeah, so this bottom one I gotta clean up. Right about there. This one's not bad. This one, gotta clean up a little bit. Okay. The width of it is pretty good. I'm at 11 and 3/8 heavy. 11 and 3/8 heavy, almost 7/16 right here, though this is where I shrink. So I'm gonna, there's a belly right here, so we're gonna go ahead and clean that up. Okay, so that looks a lot better. So now we're gonna go ahead and flip the door back over. Alrighty, now that we got the hole cut open, the next step is to measure the thickness of your door, which mine comes out to 1.5 inches. So the thickness meaning the inside to the outside that we cut open. You can do that or use the piece you cut off to get a better measurement. So mine comes up to 1.5 inches. So then you gotta add 7/8 to that. So my number comes out to 2.5. So then 2.5 inches, that's where we're gonna cut this pieces to. So right here on the edges, so I gotta measure 2.5 in, and whatever I don't need, I'm gonna cut off. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Just double check. 2.5. That's what I need. So alrighty, now that we got our pieces cut to 2.5 inches, that's what we needed for our door. If you want to take a blade and kind of just go like this to clean off any excess plastic that was left from the scissors, just kind of cleans it off. It's almost kind of like works as a file. So go ahead and do that to all your pieces before you snap them in place. And then they go in like this. So just go all around, top and bottom. Same thing, clean it off. Do that to all of them. And then same with the long ones. Snap them in. Okay, so we got all the pieces in there. And then now it says if you want this to be fully weatherproof, waterproof, whatever, they say to tape around the corners. So in each corner here, basically, it's kind of taped around it to keep them fully sealed. So we're gonna, if you got duct tape, or I got this red tape, which is also pretty sticky. So we're gonna go ahead and use that on all the corners. So. Okay, so we got the corners taped up. This part is optional if you have tape, duct tape, or I use this red tape, which is pretty strong. So we're gonna dry fit it. So we're gonna slide it in the hole, make sure it goes in, and then I'm gonna tape the flap up so it's out of the way. And then we're gonna go ahead and put start putting the screws in now. So that seems to be fine. So we're gonna slide this on the back side. I guess it doesn't matter. It has a hole on the bottom, a hole on the top. So the only thing I don't like so far is the plastic hardware. I'm not too happy with it. You know, it is what it is. So this store was one of the ones with the best reviews online. So, which is why I went with it. So now we're gonna slide this on the outside, on the back side. Okay. Okay, so then it snaps in place where the black trim piece goes. So okay. Let me show you guys. I think you guys can see. So it kind of just snaps in place with the other one with the same tap. So just go around and snap it all in place. And then we'll go ahead and put the screws in. Okay, I think I gotta put some of them in or else it falls back out. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this hardware, to be honest. I might change it later on. Just gotta see the size of them and do metal. I think the hardware is kind of funky. So with a flathead or a Phillips screwdriver, you're gonna screw it in and then basically go all around. Just hang tight. So I wouldn't use any power tools on this just because of how funky the hardware looks. Use the screwdriver and do it by hand. And you don't want to over tighten it. Like I said, it's plastic, so I'm just doing kind of like a cross pattern, and I'm not fully tying them up because you just gotta still gotta be able to slide it up and down. So just keep that in mind, or side to side, so the holes go in. Okay, now that we got all of them in, you can go ahead and tighten them all up. We don't gotta slide it up and down or side to side anymore. So just keep in mind this is plastic hardware, so you don't want to snap them. So just do it by hand. Don't use any power tools. You start feeling when it's getting tight. That's all it takes. Okay. And they do give you 2 extra ones in case you break one off or strip one off. So I'm just going around and making sure they are all tight. So that's it. They do have a little warning sign basically saying they're not responsible for unwanted animals like cats or any of that, or any animals that don't belong in your house, basically. So just keep that in mind. It does come with a plastic cover, so like at night or if you go out of town, you can put the cover on and basically keeps anything you don't want coming in out. So this is a good little add-on that it comes with. So I think that's it. We're ready to hang the door back up. So let's lift it up and see how it looks. So right before we put the pins back in the hinges, spray them with some white lithium grease or any kind of grease that you have. That's gonna prevent future squeaking. Since you already have it out, it helps them out a lot. So let's go put the door back on. I got the top one in. Let me get the bottom one in. Oh, the middle one. Go. Got it started. You gotta wiggle the door up and down a little bit. Here you go. Back in. Make sure they go all the way in. Okay. Door's back in. We got our pet door. So now we gotta cut the excess. We gotta cut the excess screws that stick out. So get some side cutters and let's trim those out. Okay, so see how it looks from the outside. There you go. So now you just gotta train your pet. I know mine's gonna have a hard time. She's a scary cat or a scary dog. So we'll see how she responds to it. So I'm gonna tape up the flap and maybe use some treats, close the door, and then have her go in and out. See how she does. So and right, I think I'm gonna add a seal of fire caulking around the edges and maybe some inside right here on the corners, just because I don't know, I feel like it's not fully weatherproof. So when it rains, I feel like water is gonna sit here and maybe go in there. So I don't know, somehow. So I'm just gonna try to do my best to add caulking all around the edge so it's fully or mostly weatherproof. So that's how it looks on the outside. That's how it looks on the inside. And there's a little magnet on the bottom. So I guess when he swings, he'll be able to stay attached there. So, yep. Let's go ahead and finish it off. Just gotta train our pet. So I got some sausage. Got the flap taped up. Come on. Come on. You want some? You want some? Come on. Come on. Look. Come here. Come here. Come inside. Yeah, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. I got more if you come in. I got more if you come in. So it's just gonna take a process to train her. But I think she'll be fine. So that's it for this video. I'll post the update. Hopefully she gets it.